What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. Today we're going to be talking about Alan Lazard, and a lot of you guys wanted my feedback on this card, so I went out, I purchased it. Obviously the power-up and things like that are very, very expensive. I'm going to take a look at some of the things and show you what you should be expecting from this situation right here. So ideally what's going on with Alan Lazard is he gets this deep out ability, the deep out elite ability that a lot of us have been using for the reasoning of trying to moss dudes, right? So because of that, he was like a guy that most of you guys are like, yo, Gmia, why don't you try this guy? Well, you know, what's up with this guy? Can you figure out, you know, what's going on with him? Well, let me just let you guys understand a couple things. He meets all the criteria, but he's just one of those guys that EA does not want to be like an OP player. Like, he gets the 92 jump, he gets all these other things, but he's just not good right now as Calico is, even with the 6'5" body frame. All right, so when you look at that fact that he is 6'5", and you expect him to do certain things, he's not better than Calico. All right, now, Calico is going to burn dudes off the rip, even without a theme team at 94 speed. He's just going to burn dudes. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's like, he's like a baby moss, but you gotta really be careful when you try to moss dudes with him because of his body frame. Alan Lazard looks a lot bigger on the field because for some reason when you get to 6'5" in Madden, they change it up. But he's not going to be as suitable for a lot of you guys. Plus, he doesn't run the routes as well as Calico does either. I just want to make sure I point that out as well. So I tried him out, and it didn't work out. So we're going to have to raid sell him, unfortunately. All right, now look, this is the best part about this, right? You guys still have the opportunity to go ahead while the prices are decent with the power-ups and stuff like that for these cards to go ahead and get rid of them now. I tried to do it as soon as I could because a lot of you guys, I've got a ton of messages about, you know, Alan Lazard, but he's just not that guy. All right, so look, let me tell you why Calico is probably still the better bet, because you can burn dudes deep. All right, you can just outright just burn dudes deep for no apparent reason. It's wild with Calico, and I'm going to go ahead and bring up his card right now. That's why we didn't get rid of him. You see what I'm saying? We didn't get rid of Calico because I had a feeling that EA was going to do something like that. So let me just go over here and check real quick because everything's still good. 50, and then we have 41 of 40 sprinters. So look, with Calico right here, let's take a look at Calico's card. I left everything on Calico. I was like, look, you know what? Let me just go ahead and experiment and see what's going on so I can give you guys the feedback, right? So here we go right here. The only thing I took off was his deep out elite, I believe. 94 speed. Now that is ridiculously good for a lot of different reasons. Obviously, it's one of the fastest receivers in the game right now. You know, OBJ gets like a 96. There's other players, DK Metcalf, but this guy, he gets all those other things that we want. Like, he gets that deep out elite, right? So with the deep out elite, it's going to make sure that if it's a one-on-one coverage, you can go up and try to get a moss action. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're going to be able to just moss every single time. It depends, though, on what your opponent is doing. You know what I'm saying? But one-on-one, you should be able to come down with the ball with the deep out elite. All right, with Tyron Calico, even though, you know, he's 6'4", and his body archetype looks a little bit slender, but he's good to go. He also has a 92 jump, acceleration 93, one less than Lazard, but that speed is just ridiculous out there. And what a lot of people are doing, they're manipulating formations and letting him come out as tight end. Remember, with the personnel changes, right, that you have with this year's Madden, you can always audible into different under center formations and get him in at tight end. Put him on like a crosser, and he's going for 6. Just so you guys understand that's what a lot of these idiots are doing. They're coming out just generally in that set to just have him at tight end from the beginning. But for me, instead of doing all that, I run my plays, you know, the regular way. And then what I can do is we're going to pretty much put him in the right position to make the play. So if you get a guy that keeps running 2-man under and he's just being an absolute weenie from Weenie Hut Juniors, what you're going to do is you're going to set up your audibles so that this guy can, like, you know, go from like iPro to like iTight, stuff like that, put him at tight end, wheel route, well, not wheel route, crosser, he's 6 for 6 because he has to manually go and cover that with 2-man under. So that's what a lot of people are doing out of different formations, but they're doing something that EA already patched and putting him in as a set guy, as a tight end for certain formations. Whatever. EA said they patched it, so more than likely nothing was done about it. So we're going to figure out a few things in regards to that, right? Now that we have him back, this is what you're going to need to do. You're going to probably have to go ahead. We'll take a look at the prices right now, but it shouldn't have dropped that much because, like I said, completing those sets with the Team of the Week players, it's still relatively expensive. So it shouldn't be a situation where it's like, oh my God, this dude right here is just way too, you know, he's way too cheap or expensive or whatever. He's gonna be right around the same rate. So let's see exactly what's going on. So he's at 250. All right, some idiot has him up at 550. So what we're gonna do is, we're not really trying to break the bank, and we need to get rid of him, right? So we could try him out like 229 or something like that. He should sell in the 200s though, because the sets themselves, they're very, very expensive right now. So that'll sell simply because, you know, the 200 rate, people have been buying it for those rates. So it won't be that big of a deal as far as like price differential. This right here, we'll put him up for like, you know, he's been as low as like 108. So I guess if we get like, you know, 119 for him or something like that, we should be pretty good with where we are right now. And then we're gonna go ahead and, you know, change up a couple things and see what we can do going forward. But yeah, he's a guy that I would probably pass on for now and just, you know, try to reassess what we're doing with that situation, because it depends on ideally what you're trying to do. But remember, even if you're trying to not moss anybody and you want to put them on a post route or you want to put them on other routes, it's still going to cost. So here goes another thing that you can do, right? If you really want to get wild, you can have route technician on one side and then have the deep out elite on the other. Now, I think he gets does he get route technician? I think the other guy did, right? Okay, he doesn't get route technician, but I think Lazard might have been able to unlock it. I'm not sure. But you know, things like Slot-O-Matic and stuff like that, some of you guys were asking about it. With the increase in ability points, it's not worth it. 4 AP, you know, I have 4 AP right now on Jimmy Graham, but I'm going to be adjusting that soon because it doesn't really make any sense. But Slot-O-Matic and things like that increase the probability of catching the ball, those things are very, very necessary, okay, in certain cases for these guys to do stuff. Obviously, a route technician player would be huge, but these deep threat players are strictly deep out. You know, you're putting that on them. Or if you don't want to go that route, you can always put like the outside apprentice on these guys. But then remember, when you audible and you put them into what I was trying to talk about with those tight sets, like getting from iPro to iTight or whatever, iWing, when you do that, you will not be able to put him on anything else because he won't get any additional hot routes because it automatically changes if he goes from outside to slot or inside, you know, tight, whatever. So that's why I keep a quarterback with field general. Some of you guys have been asking about Derek Carr. I'm going to take a look at him soon and see what he's dealing with. But those are just some of the things that you guys have to understand. And I've been getting a lot of questions about it. So I wanted to thoroughly, you know, explain it to you. At this time right now, Lazard is a joke. Even with just any general thing. And I had him at 92 speed. He wasn't a guy that really went out there and burned anybody. So it's not something that, you know, I would recommend to you guys. Like, yo, go out there, you gotta, you know, whatever. No, he's just a guy. He's pretty much just a guy. And you have to remember, he's a standout. So EA can't make him better than the 50. Like, he can't just come out and just be outright better than Tyron Calico. Keep that in mind as well. But remember, theme teams, he might work out. A theme team, he goes to the same speed as Calico at 94, and he's going to be 6'5", so that's going to be another thing. Maybe you can work with that, but I wouldn't recommend it at this time. Obviously, it's up to you how you guys want to go ahead and work with it, but I wanted to make sure I got the information out to you guys as soon as possible to give you guys some insight into this. Also, before I let you guys go, some of you guys were asking about, you know, the abilities on Jimmy Graham. You know, why do I have this? Why do I have that? So pretty much what I tried to do was short out, mid out, deep out. I tried to create streak specialists with the separate things that they have with the abilities. I want to let you guys know you only need deep out. That is it. Now with the mid out, it would work if you were trying to throw like a middle range pass, but you got to be able to assess where you are on the field. If you can't do that, you're going to lose games. All right, there's nothing that you can really do about that. You're going to have to figure out where you need to throw the ball, and I think that's like anything over 20 yards or something like that. It's going to definitely light up, or maybe it's 25 or more, whatever, for the deep out elite, but it's down the field passes. So you only need that. There's no need for anything else with that. So I just wanted to go ahead and let you guys know I did check that out for you guys, and that's pretty much what I came up with. All right, so that's pretty much what's going on right now as far as Tyron Calico. Versus Lazard. Tyron Calico is a guy that you're probably going to want to keep and let him stay there, and that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying, guys? That's where we are with it. I want to thank you guys and girls for watching. You go ahead and have an unbelievable day. Until next time, one love, y'all.